What you're about to hear isn't a forecast. This is a crisis, and it's unfolding right now. We're going to break down Operation Epic Fury, a conflict that's threatening to completely redraw the global energy map and, honestly, shift the entire balance of world power. We're now on day 10 of the operation. And let me tell you, the situation is escalating way beyond what the Pentagon initially thought would happen. What was supposed to be a limited, contained engagement is now threatening to spiral into something much bigger and far more unpredictable. And the human cost? Well, it's already climbing. News outlets have just confirmed a pretty grim milestone. 140 U.S. service members have been wounded. This is happening because of Iran's saturation drone tactics. They're just overwhelming U.S. defenses with sheer numbers. But this isn't just happening on the battlefield, not by a long shot. The economic shockwave is just staggering. Tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical arteries for global trade, has plummeted by a catastrophic 80%. Okay, let's dive into this. And stay till the end because some shocking things I'm going to reveal in this explainer. Let's get back to the explainer. To really get why this is happening, you gotta look at the numbers. So why are US defenses struggling so much? Well, the core problem behind these rising casualty counts, it's not just about military might. It's about math. Simple, brutal math. The United States has walked right into a war of attrition where the economics are completely stacked against them. And yeah, this right here shows you the economic trap perfectly. Think about it. The US is forced to use a $4 million Patriot missile, a true marvel of technology, just to take down a $20,000 drone. You can win every single one of those fights and still be losing the financial war, big time. You just can't keep that up, right? This completely unsustainable exchange rate has led to a critical shortage of interceptors. According to Just Security, the Pentagon is literally scrambling for alternatives. The White House is trying to fast-track a new laser system called the Golden Dome, but that's still years away from being ready, which means right now, the troops on the ground are left dangerously exposed. Okay, so let's shift over to the naval front. Everything, and I mean everything, hinges on one single place, the Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest point, it's just 21 miles wide. It is the jugular vein of the global economy, and right now it is actively being choked off. So U.S. Central Command just reported what looks like a big win. American destroyers intercepted and sank 16 Iranian vessels. Now, these weren't warships. They were basically just boats trying to deploy these sophisticated, smart mines aimed at commercial shipping lanes. On paper, a clear win for the U.S. Navy. But here's where Iran's countermove was frankly brilliant in its simplicity. They don't have to sink every tanker. All they have to do is use drones to strike a few commercial ships, and by doing that, they weaponize risk itself. The global maritime insurance industry has now effectively blacklisted the entire Persian Gulf, calling it uninsurable. That's the real strategy. You paralyze trade not by sinking ships, but by making it financially impossible for them to even sail. So with the global economy seizing up, the White House is now looking at something really radical. According to some new reporting from the Wall Street Journal, there's a plan on the table for a complete U.S. military takeover of the Strait of Hormuz. And that would be a dramatic and incredibly dangerous escalation. Let's be perfectly clear about what total takeover actually means. We're talking about U.S. forces physically occupying sovereign Iranian territory, islands, coastal areas, to create a secure corridor. Then, all commercial ships would be forced into mandatory U.S. Navy-protected convoys. This completely transforms a limited operation into a full-blown ground war. And, as you can probably guess, the international reaction was not good at all. Key European allies like France and Spain are reportedly horrified. They're terrified that a move like this wouldn't just be a huge military gamble, but it would also unite the entire Middle East against the West, creating a geopolitical rift that might never heal. So while all the headlines are focused on the fighting, there's this huge geopolitical chess game playing out in the background. As these old alliances are getting strained, a new, very powerful axis is quietly taking shape to counteract all this chaos. This right here is the number that could change everything. $300 billion. That is the value of a massive new refinery deal that was just signed between the United States and India's corporate giant Reliance Industries. Now, this deal is not just about money. It's a strategic masterstroke. Here's the situation. The U.S. has plenty of crude oil. but it lacks some specialized refining capacity. India? It has some of the world's most advanced refineries. So this deal creates a refinery bridge, allowing the US to bypass all the instability in the Middle East and send a very powerful message to Tehran. Even if you choke the strait, our economic and military engines will keep on running. But here's the crazy part. While the US is building this powerful new bridge to India, its old bridges to Europe are cracking. The US is becoming more and more isolated within NATO over this whole operation. Spain has banned the use of its air bases for strikes, and Germany's ruling coalition is reportedly about to collapse because of soaring energy prices. The Western alliance is showing some deep, really dangerous cracks. And that brings us to today. As we head into day 11, the entire world is just holding its breath. The military, the economic, and the geopolitical stakes are all converging on this one single volatile point on the map, and the global economy is teetering right on the brink. So let's just recap where we are. What's the situation on the ground? We have 140 American casualties, a global economy that's being strangled by an 80% drop in vital oil transport, and the United States is being backed into an impossible corner, forced to choose between securing the world's energy supply or maintaining its other critical security commitments across the globe. And it all comes down to this one massive question. Is this total takeover of the strait a necessary, bold move to restore order and protect the global economy? Or is it a reckless gamble that puts the entire world on a direct path to a third world war? The decision that's made in the next few days could very well define the rest of this century. Look, this story is moving fast, and we are going to be tracking every single move. What do you think is the right path forward here? Let us know down in the comments. And for the absolute latest updates on this crisis, make sure you subscribe to this channel.